Back on. That should pick up. And I want to say we're live, but I'm just looking to make sure. George is just going to quickly post a link on that. But apologies, we lost the signal. Have no idea why it did that, but yeah, just going to wait for a new link to come in. So here we go. Take two's working now. So what we'll do, we'll just talk rubbish until people start joining. No change there then in terms of it on that side of it. So we're just going to wait for people to join on that. So no one in the chat just yet. So I'm just going to hold fire.
I can't remember where we were now. But saying that's true, I've been up. I was gonna say I've been up Brighton all weekend drinking. Like it's my birthday and the first time after lockdown, so I'm so hungover today. I don't know what day of the week it is or what's going on. When was it? Tuesday or Wednesday? 21st of July. Oh no, that's what I'm saying, mate. Alzheimer's is kicking in. The big 33 now, mate.
We'll cut all that out just in case. So.
It's fine. I was going to say, you're a brave man, boys. Need to comment in on a live feed. On the live feed.
It's fine.
I'll be adding your boss into the comments.
It's fine.
We are back. Okay, I think we've got.
I've put it on Twitter, so we should be live.
No problem at all. If people were subscribing, they should find us anyway. But are you putting it via the 9?
Yeah, I've got.
Link. Cool. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, no, it should be coming up.
Okay. Oh, we've got 7 people. Apologies. I think it was my end. I think my connection. I've moved to Epsom, and it should be a lot better. But yeah, I'll have to work on that. I'll sort something out. So I'm just going to get a quick drink. I've been chatting for ages on that. So let me just quickly. I think I've lost all the other questions, which is probably a good job because it means. Yeah, meanwhile we're back. One sec.
So if you did post any comments on the old feed, please just post them into the new feed to save Stu having to do any actual work on this, just so we can have all the comments in one place. So if you didn't answer your previous question, just place it back in to the new feed.
That is shocking. So what we're going to do, so what we should have been doing first, and I think I'm now half an hour late. Oh, actually, I'm later than that. Is having a quick
40 minutes late now.
So where are we? So I thought we'd go through the squad quickly. So where are we? Introducing our, I'm going to call them stoppers this year. I quite like giving them different names. But we've obviously got Nick Zanev, and I've forgotten his first name, George. I'm getting old. Help me.
Zaki.
Do you know what?
Zaki.
Thank you. He's great, to be fair. On his interview, he basically says, like, if you sit in a barber's for long enough, you'll eventually get a haircut, which I just thought was highly amusing when he was talking about him coming in with that side of it. So, yeah. So in terms of goalkeepers, Rob, Nick Zanev is on his own, isn't he? Let's be fair. You know, obviously, goalkeepers come in, but not probably going to challenge him just yet. Does he need competition, Rob?
I don't think so. You know, I think, you know, I don't like to use the word budget, and I'm sure Robert doesn't want me using that word, but I think, you know, I'd rather spend what we have elsewhere. Nick done well back in the last season when he came in, and he deserves to, you know, keep between the sticks. And, you know, from everything I hear, Zaki Ula has got a lot of experience in non-league, and he is highly rated. So hopefully he can push him as well. And, you know, we can always get an emergency loan if anything was to happen with our 2 keepers. So I'm not too concerned that side of things.
Definitely. George, I'm just going to move you on to the fullbacks because that hasn't changed. That is still the same fullback lineup we had last season. Interesting one, George.
Well, I mean, definitely interesting that you've put Dan Shoker in as a fullback when he's centre-back.
He has played. He did play left back. He did play left back at some point.
You know, while it's okay, obviously. Yeah, but he's predominantly a centre-back.
I know, but I didn't have enough room for a centre-back, George.
But anyway, moving on. Yeah. But moving on anyway. And obviously you've got Shea Alexander, who did very well last year. We've got Nesta, who's an up-and-coming prospect, great. Paulos, who's looking for a resurgence after having, you know, after bursting onto the scene. I think we look at it, and I think that is a position where we can expect, you know, a signing, expect an addition to come in to strengthen the numbers there to allow Dan Shoker to play at centre-back when needed.
Definitely.
To allow us to look into a loan deal for Paul Lossu to get him more first-team minutes when he hasn't had that many over the last year and a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Rob, this is probably one where it's quite interesting. That I was going to say on paper, but on screen, that don't look too bad, does it? Ben Hennigan, Will Nightingale, Paul Callenby, and Darius Charles coming back in. Obviously, we know Darius isn't going to be in terms of pushing for selection. He says at the moment, but he's competitive. But it's not bad for centre halves, is it, Rob?
No, I think we've got good options at centre halves, and like George said, we've got Dan Choker as well as also a fifth centre half. Darius's experience. The only thing which concerns me is Will Nightingale sometimes picking up his injuries. I know he's not played pre-season. He's got to say a minor to stay fit, but I think him and Ben Hennigan make a good pairing. We saw that back in the last season. So yeah, I think our centre halves are fine.
Yeah, definitely, George.
Yeah, I think centre half is a position of.
Go on, George.
Yeah, I was going to say I think centre half's a position of strength for us this year. Being physical centre half. Dan Choker I like a lot. He's left-footed as well. That gives us balance. It means if for whatever reason mid-game we do need to drop into a 3 at the back, it does give us that option. He gives us an opportunity to be a bit more versatile in what we want ourselves to play. A very interesting role. He's played a bit in pre-season against Brentford. He got back.
George, I think you just got... George, it might be worth you having a check on your connection because mine's actually all right. George, it might be worth you having it just coming out and going back in.
And he got minutes again at the midweek just to be a senior head amongst young players, to just try and be a better influence. He don't play a huge amount for them, but it's just his attitude around the place while he's doing his coaching badges. I think it's a similar thing with Darius, and having a young core of the team and being relatively young and inexperienced at centre-back with Paul Callenby and Dan Choker, as well as obviously the kids coming through like Ethan Sutcliffe. And it just gives them a bit of experience and someone they can learn from. For me, I'm very happy with our centre-halves this season.
Definitely. George, just going to say, it might be worth looking at your connection because I'm just looking at it now and you're the one that's breaking up at the moment, so I just don't know whether your London connection is just dodgy. On that side, I've got a great upload speed. And if anyone doesn't know what upload speed is, I don't know either. But it just looks like it's good. This question we knew was going to come, so we're not stupid. Richard Chin, thank you for only taking 45 minutes for asking it. Any thoughts on Chelsea youngster Henry Lawrence? Be truthful, I know nothing about him. Obviously, we saw the rumour today that he is in England. Chelsea under 23s. Looks like I don't know. To be fair, Rob, any thoughts on that? I don't even know if this website is any. You get some Twitter sites that just don't actually have many followers, do they?
Yeah, there's I can't remember what Twitter page it came from, but it came with somebody with a blue tick, and it does seem to be a journalist and had 700 odd likes linking us to Henry Lawrence, so it does seem legit. I know, also Wigan were rumoured to be in for him, and people called him the next Reece James because obviously they had Reece James from Chelsea, and they looked like they wanted Henry Lawrence, but looks like he might be coming our way, which would be good because I do think fullbacks is a position we need to strengthen. I mean, I know Robbo's alluded to we need 2 signings. For me, I'd like to see 3 signings, and that's right.
Okay.
Back there.
Yeah, like I say, at the moment,
pacey forward. So Henry Lawrence coming in would definitely.
Cool.
I've got Henry Lawrence. I mean, I saw he's come from the rumour on Twitter today. Was started by someone who's the head of Chelsea reporting for Goal Football magazine. So I think that's a reasonably established source. I said Henry Lawrence has been excellent. I've been aware of him for a while. I like him a lot. He comes from Chelsea. His stats in the under-23 Premier League 2 last season were absolutely incredible for a fullback. Seems like he likes going forward. He fits the Chelsea mould, very similar to Reece James. The reporting on Twitter seems to suggest he had a lot of interest from Championship clubs and top League One teams. And I think it says a lot about the trust that football coaches across the country have for Robbo, that we're able to get this type of player, because there's no way we've been able to attract this quality of young player ever before, because he is a top prospect. And if we can get him in, that sends a major statement about what Mark Robinson's able to do for us this season.
Yeah, and let's say at the moment it's a rumour. I'd be amazed if we get someone like that from Chelsea. I'll be truthful. Not amazed in terms of that Robbo could probably attract them because he's already attracted one of their coaches, which is a great achievement. But it might take a little while for us to get those established loans. But look, that's a rumour at the moment, Richard, so we don't know too much, but we know as much as you do. But if we do, that does sound like a promising addition to that. Let's go through. So this is the interesting areas where we really strengthened. George, let's go through. So obviously from last year we got Alex Woodyard, who I'm assuming is going to be captain. That's just a graphic guide from last season. Andy Hartigan, after returning from some place in Wales, any place in Wales is rough to be fair, but he's got Newport's going to be really making grown up. And George Marsh, who I love George Marsh because every picture he had when he signed, he has his thumbs up like Fan Dozy Dozy. He looks a very fun character. George, strengthen there with George Marsh coming in. You knew about George Marsh before you come in, George.
Yeah, I definitely knew about him. I know from Tottenham. I saw he was on it, and I put in a couple of group chats straight away that he's someone we have to get. We have to go for him. I like him a lot. He's a very active central midfielder. He's very energetic, very aggressive in the challenge. Loves winning the ball back. He's the type of player who is similar in style. I like him a lot because you pair him with Alex Woodyard, who's going to be a bit more attacking this season. I think he'll be the more attacking in the pairing. You've got Anthony Hartigan, who's got the distribution, the ball playing element game. So I'm really excited about those three as a unit. You'll obviously be chopping and changing them in and out. But George Marsh, that's an absolutely excellent signing. And I like the fact we're giving him the number 6 shirt as well. I think that just sends a message about what type of player he is. And also, just as a side note, he's quite versatile. We can bung him into at centre back or at right back if needs must in an emergency. So again, it just gives us that tactical flexibility mid-game if we need to adapt.
Definitely. And Rob, I left you for the most exciting part because I think this does look, and I've put Luke McCormick as an attacking midfielder because he does like getting forward and he scored a goal already at Hampton and Richmond. But let's be fair, that looks an exciting 4 players for probably 2 positions we're probably looking at, Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very exciting young attacking lineup. I mean, everything I've heard from pre-season friendlies, McCormack seems to be the standout player. When I saw him against Brentford, he really impressed me. You said he's got a brilliant goal the other night, and I think I think everyone's excited by him, and especially just playing in front of crowds. I think he might thrive, and a couple of other players I'm looking forward to seeing at Plough Lane is Woodyard and Palmer playing in front of crowds. Even they've been here for a year, they've played in front of no crowds, and I think they'll both thrive as well.
Definitely, George. Obviously, I know your thoughts on Luke McCormick. What are your thoughts about playing in front of crowds? Because, hey, look, young Ayoub Azal hasn't played in front of crowds. He could be dynamite in crowds, couldn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's someone, because it's a position we've lacked over the last, I'd say probably going back to after we got promoted, so probably the last 5 years, we've lacked a player who every time he gets the ball, there's not one person in their seat in the ground, just everyone's on the edge of their feet, everyone's standing up. That's something that we've missed since we got promoted. And Ayoub brings that. It's going to be exciting what he can do, not just what he's doing when he's got the ball at his feet, but his off-the-ball movement, the physical side of his game, where he does like to get challenging. He doesn't mind squaring up to players twice his size, and that's something that I really admire about him. And I think the fans are going to be really excited by that. He'll really get the fans going. Luke McCormack's a class addition. Ethan Chislett, he started well last year, but suffered, I think, just in terms of the intensity of stepping up from National League into League One after such a step up from the Ryman only the year before that. And I think, and obviously Rudy as well. There will be a big season for him. It will be his second. So, I'm really excited by that attacking midfield unit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ayoub start maybe a little bit further forward to allow us to start 2 of, McCormack, Rudy and Ethan Chislett. But I'm really excited. I think that's the best attacking midfield creative unit that we've ever had, certainly since I've been going.
To be fair, George, I've forgotten a question now because you've rabbled on for about 3 minutes now. I'm going to give you a timer, George, and it will be a half a second. I'm joking with you. Ballum McCormick did say he's a box-to-box player who wants to score goals. And Bristol Rovers, I chatted to the Gascast, the Bristol Rovers fans, and they were honest. They said they were amazed that we got him. No disrespect to us, but they thought he would go championship level on that. Ethan Chislett looks sharp. Pro accounts, he's come back really not fit, but just really, it's his second season on that. Ayoub Azal, the best signing we've done all summer was Ayoub. And I just think he is going to have people off his seat. I don't want him squaring up to too many people, to be fair, George, because if Alex Woodyard is around him, that means he's going to pick up bookings. I'm joking. Alex doesn't like me talking about his bookings. on that side of it. But yeah, I'm just gonna. There's one other question that come in as well. That question, captain actually, Ballon, which is quite interesting. Is Woodyard captain, not Will Nightingale? Not been announced yet, from what I understand. But I'm just going on what the season finished. And if I remember properly, and I might be wrong, Rob, wasn't Will? It was rotated, wasn't there? The captain's armband, and I think just ended up with Alex Woodyard, or was it Pigs? I'm trying to think now. Rob?
I was going to say there was also a video recently on YouTube of both Robbo and Woodyard, and Robbo called him, the captain. So
yeah.
I think that leads me to suggest that that's going to be captain and Will Nightingale vice captain for this season. But is it one thing I find interesting? I find the spine of the team with Woodyard. You've got Darius Charles, Will Nightingale. I don't know if that's done by design or the way the signers have fell, but it does feel like that spine is the squad right the way down. We have got some real leaders. So
definitely. And I think this is what we're going to probably do is Richard Chin, again, Robert hinted at SNL possibly playing further forward. Yeah, I think he will. I don't think any centre-half is going to want him on his shoulder or running in behind him or getting the ball in front of him and running. I don't think any defender is going to want that. And yeah, I'm quite excited. I can't wait to see him.
I don't want to put too much pressure on young Asal, but he excites me the same way as when a Lyle Taylor got the ball on Andy Bartram, and I feel we haven't.
Only one Lyle Taylor, Rob. Only one Lyle Taylor, mate. Come on.
But I feel like we've not had that for a while. When somebody gets on the ball, you get off your seat, and yeah, I'm really excited to see him at Plough Lane this season.
Come on, George. Just tell me if you knew it was going to happen all the time. I know I'm getting this. Come on.
Well, I have been saying for several years on these shows that Ayoub is going to be one to look out for, and that Ayoub's going to, establish himself first team. And it's that like a few years ago in Germany, they had a 6'4" German third division centre off, and Ayoub squared up to him when he was 16. The boy's got absolutely no fear. He's so passionate about his football and so passionate about us as a club. He's just got no fear, and I think he's going to thrive this season with fans. I think away fans are not going to like him very much, but I think we need that. We've been too nice with away fans, and I think he's going to be an absolutely brilliant player for us this year. And I think I'm really excited for him to show the wider fan base. It's been a very well by club over the last few years.
Definitely. I do apologise. The internet connection is not great tonight, so I do apologise. It'll sound better on a podcast because I can tidy it up. On that side, but yeah, apologies on there. Interesting, by the way, that Terrell Thomas is being linked by some championship clubs. George, you didn't rate him initially, did you? I'm joking, mate. I just want to knock you down a bit after your excellent spot by Eb. Joe, and the interesting thing is also, Rob, I reckon he'll get double marked this season. He was starting to that, wasn't he, at the end of last season? People were double marking him and changing the tactics and stuff. It's a clever stroke to have one Ethan Chislett, second season, but Luke McCormick is going to find more space. So it's actually worked in our advantage that we've managed to get a player from Chelsea who is really highly rated, Rob. I know you haven't seen him yet, but what do you think of him?
I've only seen him in the Brentford game, and he really impressed me. And, I saw his highlights at Bristol, and some of the goals he scored were quality. So, yeah, everything I hear about the lads, is really upset yourself. So, yeah, I'm really excited by him. And, if players double up on a Asal, then it's only going to give Luke McCormack or Rudy or even Ollie Palmer a bit more space. So this is what I like. We've got threats all, across the front line. And Robert did say he wanted, everyone chipping in with goals. So I do see that as a real possibility now.
Yeah,
and I think that's going to be a big thing this season. I think, in the previous years, we've had one player in double digits, at the most. And I think this year it's not inconceivable. This year I can see us having 3, maybe 4 players all getting into double digits for goals. And that's going to be a massive help and go a long way towards replacing Bigot.
Definitely. And as we talk about forwards, this is our forward line. So Ollie Palmer, Zach Robinson. Thank you very much. We've got Aaron Presley joined us. I apologise, Cosgrove, Fisher and...
Andrews.
That's him, George. I just realised it was quite small on my screen. Presley's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think think he's really it's just like he's got a song already made for him. You can't help falling in love with him, can we? Do you know what I mean? So he's already got a song after him. But do you know what? If we go with him and Ollie Palmer, that is like an old. It's weird. It's like an old Wimbledon because you've got two massive lumps upstairs. But actually, we're probably going to want to play the ball into their feet, isn't it, George? And I think they could be an exciting partnership.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Presley's we all know how good Ollie Palmer is. Aaron Presley's a great addition. Seeing how he played on Saturday against Dartford, I do think it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get up to speed. He did look a bit off the pace. Whether that was just because he was being asked to do several different formations, all brand new to him, I would give Aaron Presley a few weeks before, fully judging him. I think Zach Rowe, obviously, Aaron Cole.
Okay, George, I think I lost you there a minute. I think you're back.
It's for sure really well in position. Isn't for us as a club, but I think we to allow us to own out obviously David Fisher and Zach Robinson. Because if you have a forward line of Ayuba Sam, Ollie Palmer, Aaron Presley, and then one new player, ideally a pacey striker, that's a scary front to go into any season at this level. And I'm really excited by that.
Definitely. So I've just lost her. Yeah, and I thought this would be, and I deliberately put this picture in. I'm going to call them the graduates. I don't know if that's the right thing, but it's how I'm going to call them. And these are our graduates for the season ahead. And do you know what? 5 different types of players. But I'm really excited about it, George. You know a lot more than Frimpong is basically like Alex Woodyard's junior. He will, if Alex Woodyard don't get him, Frimpong will get him afterwards. But they're going to probably go out on loan, George. But there's an exciting 5 there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to talk, some of them are closer to being first team ready than others. A couple of them are going to need loan spells. But just to talk you through those 5, from left to right, you've got obviously Kweku Frimpong, who's a holding midfielder. He's quite good technically, but he loves the ugly side of the game. He loves a challenge. He loves a 50-50. He's really aggressive in a proper old school Wimbledon holding midfielder. He's going to be an absolute fan favourite. He's out on loan for the season at Leatherhead. Isaac Uganda is a very good right back and play on at centre half if needs be, maybe on the right of the 3 as well. Another very good prospect, like him a lot, probably a few years away, needed on loan. Luke Jenkins, a good young centre half. He's got a lot of potential, probably a loan spell. He's done well considering he's the latest in a long line of our production at developing centre halves. Obviously, we had Will Nightingale, Paul Kalambai, Ruben Collins, who's been training with us again, Jack Madeleine, who's still with us, Archie Proctor, we sold this summer. We've got Ethan Sutcliffe, also on a first-team pro contract. So Luke Jenkins, I'm delighted that he's joining that list. David Fisher's someone, he's a bit older than the rest of them. He's already signed his pro contract before being let go last summer, went out to Hampton and Richmond, set the world alight there, has come back, probably a loan spell for him this year. Very, very good signing, that's David Fisher. And then Dylan Ajay Hersey, very exciting winger, likes to play on the right cutting side, massive prospect. He's done so well. He suffered a really horrible injury when he was young, so it's great for him to come back.
Superb. We're going to try and wrap up soonish, George, because I think the internet connection is a little bit dodgy, and I will get it better for next week.
Very exciting player. Not quite got the aggressive attitude of
Cool. So, question in Teddy Ruxpin. Interesting one here. Weak set of forwards. 3. To be fair, I read it as 3 knobs. It's 3 newbies and one with recent injury issues. Do you know what? I think Ollie Palmer has got a bad reputation in terms of he wasn't injured at all before he come to us, and I think he had a bad injury at Crawley, and there's obviously a situation that went on there behind the scenes, but he's by no means injuries prone. And I've seen him pre-season, and I haven't told him, but he looks like he's lost loads of weight, because otherwise he'll ask me what is he weighing before, and I'm not going to get involved with everybody because he's a big bloke. But I'm okay, Rob. Are you okay with that, or are you a little bit with Teddy on that? Earth to Rob.
So repeat the question, Stuart. Cut out for a second.
Yeah.
What's my thoughts on the question below?
was just going to say, with you, are you similar to Teddy? Do you think we're a bit light up front, or what are your thoughts?
I'm expecting a big season from Ollie Palmer. I agree with you that he hasn't had, an injury-prone record before, prior to Cooley. So I think he'll be fit and raring to go. I think all we need is a pacey forward. I think Elvis and Ollie are quite similar in stature. I just like somebody with a bit of pace, and with Aya Basal as well, pushing further forward. I think that's a solid 4 for me. So yeah, I disagree with that one. I think we'll have a good enough strike force, and with Luke McCormack and Rudy chipping in goals as well, and Ethan, I think going forward will be quite exciting.
Superb. And George, I'm just going to, that interest, I think we'll wrap up with a scumful. For everybody, is the stand where fans will be capacity of 4,000? Not sure, but I'm guessing basically a test event for Saturday is the West Stand being full capacity. George, is that right?
Yeah, so on Saturday, the West Stand is full. It's got a capacity of just a tad over 4,000. So we do need everyone who has reserved a ticket to go, because there's not much room for flexibility. That is the only stand open, because it's purely a stress test for that one stand. So, like I said, it's just one stand open. You'll be full 4,000 people in there if everyone turns up. So everyone's got a bit of scale. That 4,000 is roughly the same size as all of the home stands at Kings Meadow combined. And that's just the main stand, just to give you a size of the scale of that truly impressive main stand.
Definitely. And Rob, you've obviously not been there, but it's obviously, it's really important, isn't it, that everyone that has a ticket, and free tickets, but it's really important everyone turns up.
Turn up, but yeah.
I think I'm gonna wrap it up at that, because I think the guys are struggling to hear me on that. But yeah, I'm just going to finish up, Rob. I think it's really important, like I say, that everyone
Gonna have to wrap up.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna. The internet connection's not great, so I'm gonna wrap up. But just to finish off and say, it's really important that everybody that has a ticket does turn up. It's a stress test for the West Stand. It's really important, because if we get the certificate, then we can have a sellout at Bolton at home. When you think about it, we will have double the attendance that we had for Bolton when they played us last game at Plough Lane at Kings Meadow. To think that we'll probably have double in the ground is unreal. And Bolton have been relegated and got back up before then. So, yeah, cheers, Teddy. There are other broadband providers. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to chuck it out the window and start again on that. So, thanks, Rob. Thanks, George, for joining us.
Cheers, guys.
Cool. And we will see you next week. Bit louder, bit clearer, but we will see you soon.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, it looks like it might actually be working.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 9 Years podcast.
Oh, well, no, don't joke with me that we're live. Oh, wow. I'm very sorry, everybody. We were miles away. We were pondering this defeat. I can't talk today. People are just rubbishing it because it's never going to happen. And I'll bet my mortgage, my life, everything I have that Neil Ardley will not go to Notts County.
Interesting.
Apparently, they've had 18 stays of